Hey guys, the car dude here coming next live from my house. Welcome to Problems with School Part 2. Now, I don't know how long this is going to be, given the fact that I can only think of one off the top of my head. But I just recorded another video, and I just got a new idea for a problem with school. So, last year, or technically 2 years ago, in 8th grade, it was in social studies class. We were at the point we were learning about the early American history with the colonies and all that, and slavery, and it was boring, but that's beside the point. So we had to read a book called Chains, which personally I thought it was total garbage, to be honest. I mean, if you like it, great, but it's not for me. I don't mind reading about slavery. If it's written well and it's written for my age group, then I don't mind it. I write things about like race and the problems with idiots who are racist. I write things like that, but here's the thing. I write in my style. That's the first thing. And I write for no one in particular. That's the second thing. I am certain, I'm pretty much certain, and if I'm not, then that's a pretty bad writer, that the author was doing both of those things. However, it's the school system's fault for giving us the wrong age group, because Chains was not written for 8th graders. Chains was written much more for at least a little older, like 10th grade, and by then we're done with slavery, we're done with race, I hope. I really hope. But, yeah, it wasn't written for us. And if it was written solely for school purposes, which I don't think any writer should be writing for school unless you're writing a textbook. But I digress. And I think, actually I'll save that for another one. That's another video I have to record after this. Anyway, so that's the thing. I didn't like the book, mostly because, not so much the topic, but the age group that it was meant for, which is a big thing for me. I really disliked the book, not because it was from school. I have liked things from school before, but it was because they showed it to me in that grade, to be honest. And I know it was set in the time that we were studying. I don't give a rat's ass. You know what? If that were true, then we would have learned about. We're going to be learning about the hippies in 11th grade, or whenever we go to the 1960s. No, that's stupid. That's like saying, oh, a character's a guy because they're played by a guy. That they're not connected. They shouldn't be connected. Sure, it fits into your curriculum, but it doesn't fit into, number one, the enjoyment, which actually affects your learning, and two, it doesn't go with anything really. Your attention span, your the amount of time you spend reading, it'll probably draw you away if you don't like the book. Draw you away from reading for a while. So yeah, that's one problem with the school. Poor age group timing. Number two, I think the main thing of this one is that it shouldn't take an entire semester to read Romeo and Juliet, because my 9th grade year, because now we're just studying for finals, my 9th grade English class went like this. Beginning, grammar, To Kill a Mockingbird, and then the last 2 quarters, we've been reading and learning about Romeo and Juliet, and it sucked. Number one, because I didn't like the story. But anyway, that's beside the point. If you want to spend that much time analyzing something, you know what? Do it on your own time. Number two, well, not so much do it on your own time, but don't make us sit through all of that. Now, you may argue, well, it's for your education. Well, guess what? Education is not the most important thing in the world. I hope you realize. Otherwise, you're probably a pretty poor person. It's my personal belief that to be a good person, you do need a certain amount of education, yes, but the most important thing is to learn life lessons at an early age, which this country and most countries have already fucked that up far, far before my time. But that's also beside the point. Um, and again, another argument is, well, it's teaching life lessons through literature. No, it's telling us a crappy love story. There's nothing about it except for cryptic symbolism that symbolizes kings, and that's the most I got out of that book. And of course, there's the other arguments. There's the last argument that I can think of. Oh, you need to learn to appreciate the classics. Romeo and Juliet shouldn't be a classic. It should be an underground phenomena at best. You know why? Because nobody in a school likes it. Nobody who likes a decent story likes it. You know why? Because the characters are, number one, completely unrelatable. Number two, make stupid decisions. Number three, are complete jerks. So for those three reasons, I hated that story. I hated it. It was terrible. But and I had to spend an entire semester studying it, analyzing it, not even learning anything except, oh, what was Shakespeare? What did Shakespeare mean by this? Well, that was my reaction when they asked me that, because I had no clue. Um, it's broken. So yeah, that's another thing. Basically, my main draw here is, if you're gonna spend 2 semesters on something, make sure it's something that'll appeal to a wide audience, especially at my age group. Because if you don't, it's been shown that enjoyment can have an effect on grades. Like if you enjoy algebra, well, you'll want to do more of it, first of all. So that'll not only get you A's, but it'll probably get you into higher, like more advanced classes, which is also good. Same can be said for literature. If you like cryptic old English folklore, like something that Shakespeare wrote, then you'll have enjoyed Romeo and Juliet, most likely. You'll have enjoyed that semester, and you will probably have gotten good grades in that semester. I got okay grades because I paid attention, and they basically explained everything, but I didn't like it. Didn't like it, not at all. And the same can be said for history. If you like it, you're going to be studying it, which will get you better grades and tests. In science, if you like it, you'll be paying attention more. You'll be learning all the formulas and all the um, and all the and all the elements. I don't know, but yeah, enjoyment definitely has a fact. It definitely is a major factor on grades. So now I've heard from my parents that they've had to read those two stories, To Kill a Mockingbird and Romeo and Juliet. I didn't mention To Kill a Mockingbird in this one. Well, To Kill a Mockingbird and Romeo and Juliet when they were my age, which is ridiculous. Number one, you need to update your curriculum. See, my idea and my dad's idea combined were basically every 5 years you get a couple consultants, very honest, very thoughtful students. Maybe one like me, no. And maybe a couple teachers to explain what are some of the social issues that kids are dealing with these days. Like every 5 to 7 years, maybe you do this and you update some of your curriculum based on that. I'm not saying you should get rid of these quote unquote classics from the curriculum, but I'm just saying that you should update your learning curve, I guess. Because if you don't, then we're just going to be learning the same information that messed up the rest of the world that's already grown up. So if there are people that have had no incentive, had nothing that interested them in school, had nothing that they could relate to in their education. They are the people that never pursued any extra education past high school and never went anywhere. You need to update your curriculum for the simple fact that it will probably have more students relate, will probably have more students actively go out and seek more of this information that you are giving them, and most likely be more successful. That's the main thing. Um, you, they claim. Okay, I have another problem. I touched on this earlier briefly. I've heard this annoying argument that schooling is only for education and the life lessons need to be left up to parents. Well, guess what? The parents were the. I hate that. I hate that argument. You know why? Because number one, there's a reason that kids grow up bad. They grow up bad because of bad childhoods, and bad childhoods mostly come from bad parents. Sometimes it comes from bad situations. Most of the time, it's bad parents who don't teach life lessons like not to be bad, not the difference between right and wrong, the difference between being an idiot and a self-indulged narcissist and being a good person. From there, they learn things, yes, but they grow up to be pricks. Whose fault is that? It's not. It's technically the parents, but who raised the parents? Well, their parents and their schools. Well, guess what? If their parents were messed up, then it's the school's job to pick up the slack. I'm getting a little angry, so I'm going to stop the video here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, proudly comment. If no criticism, it's always welcome.